2012 has finally passed, and it's time for most people to talk about their favorite games of that year, including me. So, hey everybody, Nick Nack here to count down my top 10 games of 2012. For me, I have to say that 2012 was a pretty decent year for gaming, and luckily, unlike last year, I was fortunate enough to play 10 releases to create this list. Now before I start, let me just say 3 things. 1. This is my opinion. 2. I was unfortunate not to play all the big releases this year. And 3. I haven't beaten every single one of these games, nor have I played enough of certain ones to put them at the spot they're at. Understand that people like me have no choice but to take a break from gaming due to real life. Also, I'm feeling pretty confident on playing Harley Playtile A over more Playtile B because I know that once I put more time into Harley Playtile A, it will overshadow the more Playtile B. But enough of the confusing crap, let's finally count down my 10. Starting up the countdown at number 10 is Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I'm gonna talk only a little about this game because I went into it more in my top 5 2012 fighters video, which you can see by clicking down on the link below. Shameless plug. But to give a brief summary, if you just ignore the whole on this DLC fiasco, the game in my opinion isn't really all that bad. I enjoyed the experimentation Capcom did with the battle system. I like the colorful presentation. The transitioning of the Tekken characters were pretty nice, although tournaments give them the shaft, and the game is full of content that will keep me busy once I actually buy the game. I'm not dictating on where you should get or not, I'm just saying that people should try it before they give it the finger, like most of the people on Metacritic. At number 9 is another 2012 fighter, and that's Tekken Tag Tournament 2. I've had a lot of hype for this game, being a Tekken fan, and I have to say, despite feeling like another Tekken game, I overall enjoyed what I've played. The skill it takes to perform some of these tag attacks are just intense, which is a good thing, because the more skillful a game is, the more rewarded you feel. The characters are amazing and plentiful, and I'm really stoked to see returning faces. But I think the 2 things that made this game so amazing were the stages and customization. To repeat myself in my last video, seeing the Philippines as a Tekken stage instantly makes me happy. But don't get me wrong, the Earth stages are beautiful as well. Now as for customization, I really love how much replayability and fun it gave. Character customization is same old, but the ability to use their own music for stages and menu screens is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with that. Playing Tekken, using Devil Jin, while listening to Soulja Boy playing in the background, pure win. Check this game out if you're a fan of fighters or free DLC. For my number 8, I gotta give it to Asura's Wrath. Maybe it's because of the impressions of the demo, or maybe it's because it was created by the developers who made the Naruto games, but to be honest, in the beginning, I had no interest in this game. That is until I finally rented it, and god dang was that surprised! Now to be honest, the gameplay part is pretty meh, because part of it is simple rail shooting, part of it are beat 'em up segments, and the rest of it is quick time events, with some of them being just a pain in the ass. But although it was lackluster, the game made up for all of it through its story and presentation. Many claim playing this game felt like watching a shonen anime, just like Dragon Ball Z, and I really enjoyed that anime structure of having intros outros, those little bumpers, just like animes have. As for story, it was presented pretty great as well. The things our main character had to go through were just scaled epically, and his adventures of obtaining revenge and saving the world made me on the edge of my seat. Fortunately, this game is pretty cheap, and considering it ended perfectly with no need of a sequel, Asura's Wrath is worth a try if what I've said made you interested. Coming in at number 7 is an episodic title with a long name, and that's On the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness Episode 3. Now I absolutely knew nothing about this series based off the Penny Arcade comics, but that did not stop me from wanting to try this title once I found out who the developers were. Like after playing their last 2 titles, Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death 7, I instantly became a huge fan of Seaboy Games and downloaded their new title, which of course is the game you see right here. And man, it did not disappoint. Just like their last 2 games, the thing that makes this game so freaking amazing is how much of a homage it is to old school RPGs. This game combines the graphics of Final Fantasy VI with the gameplay of Final Fantasy X and 3, I believe, and it works so damn great. As for its other features, the story is something you can easily get into, and it has some great humor, such as being transported to other worlds that are parodies of something, and sometimes characters break the fourth wall. The music is also very nice. So, RPG fans, if you're looking for an RPG that's short, funny, and cheap, I recommend this title. I assume you won't be disappointed. The number 6 spot on my list goes to Dishonored. Although I'm having fun with this game, to be honest, it's a little overrated, which is why it's at number 6 in the first place. Now, although I could be pointing out the problems, I'll skip it and mainly talk about the good, which will have to be the gameplay and gameplay only. I tell you what, being an assassin never seemed so badass. I really enjoyed the 2 different forms of playing this game. While many chose the bloodthirsty route, I decided to be a hippie and take the peaceful route when either engaging enemies or having to choose certain dialogue. I always tend to do that when playing games. Speaking of engaging enemies, the ways to go up to them are mad fun. Just sneaking up to guards, either knocking them out or killing them, and escaping like a ninja was very fun. Besides that, I also love the powers and exploration aspects of the game. If people haven't talked about its badassness yet, I'll be the one to mention it. Summoning rats to kill your enemies. Who doesn't think that's epic? As for exploration, the game is pretty decent with it by having a fair amount of side quests and collectibles ranging from assassinations to finding upgrades. With gameplay like that and a decent length of 10 through 20 hours ranging on how you play it, Dishonored was, or is, a pretty good title I was happy to rent. Either get when it's cheap or rent it, because as I somewhat mentioned earlier, it does have its flaws. Still an enjoyable game though. At number 5, I have to give it to 2012's biggest sleeper hit, Binary Domain. First I gotta say, hot damn is it amazing to see this game get huge love from the community by being in other people's top 10s, and the game totally deserves it. Created by the people who made the Yakuza games, Binary Domain is a third-person shooter that left me in awe. The gameplay was just so refined for how tight the shooting was and the way the enemies took damage. You might have heard this from others, but blasting the limbs of robots and seeing them go limp or berserk was very awesome. To complement with the shooting, you also had a very likable cast of characters with some damn good dialogue to boot. And to add to those two amazing things, this game also had an amazing story. It might be predictable to some, but during the end of the game, I was freaking surprised out of my mind when seeing certain plot twists happen. I didn't delve into the game with online unfortunately, but despite not playing online, I can't really say anything negative about this game. Well, maybe the team communication they advertised was lackluster, but that's just about it. If you haven't checked out this game yet, do so please, because it's cheap and it's such an amazing thrill ride. Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Xenoblade Chronicles. I know this game has been released already for the past 2 years in other countries, but remember that us North Americans have finally got the game at 2012, which is why it's on here. Now, I have to be straight with you guys. Although I did play it, I unfortunately put only a few hours into it, and I'm still at the beginning. Mainly due to side quests and just killing all those random creatures. Now I could have played it more, but I had to sacrifice that time because personal life comes first. Still, I know for a fact that once I delve into it more, it will totally deserve the high spot I'm giving it. But getting into what I've played so far, that makes this game amazing. The world is beautiful and expansive. The story, from what I've assumed, seems very epic, and the gameplay feels refreshing compared to other JRPGs. I can't really say more about this game due to my experience, so I recommend you to check out other people's thoughts on them. I assume they'll give better reasons on why it's high on their list. Coming in at number 3 might be a huge surprise for many, and that's Persona 4 Arena. I'm not going to talk too much about this game because 2 of my videos already explain why I really like this game. If you haven't seen them, again, check out my Best Fighters of 2012 video, or check out my Persona 4 Arena First Impressions video. Link is down below. Shameless plug. But to give a quick summary on why this game is very high on my list, I love the unique gameplay, the presentation is way beautiful, the title is filled with pretty good content, and the concept of taking a JRPG series and turning it into a fighter was astonishing. In my opinion, this game is worth the money, and I know some people hate it because of the region lock, but don't let that deter you from playing it, because it deserves all the love, because I think it's pretty underrated. For my number 2, I'm gonna have to give it to Assassin's Creed 3. Now, unfortunately, my synchronicity is somewhere near the 20% range, but I believe I played enough of the game to have it worthy as my number 2 game. Now, although it has a fair share of problems, this game is still mad entertaining. So far, I'm enjoying the adventure that Connor is going through to save the world and his tribe. To complement this adventure is of course the gameplay, which I'm really loving as well. Just exploring the spacious colonial America, performing both story and side missions, having epic naval battles, meeting historical figures. There's so much in this game that makes it a damn good experience. Sure, it's not as great as Assassin's Creed 2, but on the bright side, it somewhat shits on the last 2 as video games, and heck, even Assassin's Creed 1. So, Assassin's Creed 3, definitely one of the best titles I've played that year. But that doesn't really say much, however, but still, good game. And finally, topping off my list at number 1 is Far Cry 3. The same principle with Assassin's Creed also applies to this game as well. I'm only like 10 or 20% done, but I've played enough to have it worthy as my game of the year. Now what is there to be said about this game other than it's a brilliant title? I love almost everything about this game, from the concept that our protagonist has to be one with the land and its people, to the interesting story, to the unique characters such as Boss, to its expansive world with lots of things to do, to the gameplay that combines regular first-person shooting with stealth, to how beautiful the setting is with fusion of lush, vibrant sceneries combined with the island's dingy dark underbellies, and the list of positives go on and on and on. There's nothing really more to say about this game rather than try out because it's that damn good. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to experience the online, but nonetheless, I think this title deserves Game of the Year for me, and I'm super glad that was Game of the Year for other YouTubers. End of discussion. So those were my top 10 games of 2012. Let me know what your best games of the year were. I always love to hear what others have to say. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Take it easy, and until next video,